According to the standard reckoning, there were roughly 2,000 cities in the Roman Empire. Today, hundreds of these are still inhabited, particularly in Romance-speaking nations. Their Roman origins are often reflected in their current names. Modern Lisboa is Roman Aliso, Toledo is Toledo, Mar is Malia, Bologna is Bononia, and Roma is still Roma, of course. However, several other Roman cities no longer go by their original names. For instance, Forum Traiani became Fano in Sardinia, Poetovio became Petuch in Slovenia, Igil became Delis in Algeria, and Arles became Arles in France. In Germany, Orangienverdemagus became Worms, followed by Wiesbaden and Würzburg, and Assecor is Avenches. Sometimes similar names took different paths during evolution. For example, Frosinone, Italy, is a variant of Forum Julii, while Nice, France, and Neitsnik, Turkey, were once named Nikia. Both Augsburg and Aosta were Augusta. Caesarea became Sirhoyuk in Turkey, Chirchellen in Algeria, and Zaragoza in Spain, a play on Caesar Augustus. Legio is the source of Leon in Israel, and Lecture and Leon are derivatives of Legio in France. The Latin aquae, springs, is the ancestor of the French towns Aix and Dax. Literally translated, Bath in England and Baden in Boden, Germany, are both behind the same name. Constantine is honored by the names Constantina, Algeria, and Constantia, Romania. His father, Constantius, is honored by the names Constantia, Germany, and Coutances, France. Regional variations exist in the ways that names are changed and preserved. Nearly all Roman cities were abandoned in the 5th century AD in Britain, when the fall of the Roman Empire resulted in the total collapse of the local economy. Despite the fact that many locations were quickly colonized again, the Anglo-Saxon inhabitants gave them new names. Roman ancestry may be found in some of these names. Lindum Colonia, for instance, became Lindum, then Lindo Colina, which became Lincoln. Eoforsk, from which Eburicum later sprang, became York. The Anglo-Saxon settlement of London Wyke gave rise to Londinium, the provincial capital, which was subsequently reconstructed as Lundenburg before being abbreviated to London. Because Roman cities were frequently encircled by walls, the Anglo-Saxons gave them the name castles, which came from the Latin castrum. Consequently, the Venta Belgarohum Roman town was renamed Venta Castrum, which eventually became Wintancaestre, the present-day Winchester. Anglo-Saxon Manchester, formerly known as Roman Mamushum, is now Manchester. Deva was referred to as Chester later on, only the castle. The names of old Roman cities changed when Germanic dialects replaced Latin in what is now southern and western Germany. Mogontiacum replaced Bacchus, followed by Maganza and Mainz. Augusta Vindelicum was abbreviated as Vindelicum, Vindobona, and Vienna in order of precedence. Colonia Agrippina became known as Colonia, and then it became Col. The people of modern-day France to the west still spoke Latin. Accordingly, the French appellations for the Roman cities of Germany are more similar to their Latin equivalents. Regensburg is Ratisbonne, Mainz is Mayence, Cologne is Colonna, and Trier is Treves. Particularly in the south, many French cities' current names are direct descendants of their historical ancestors. Lugdunum became Lyon, Arles remained Arles, Nimes became Nimes, and Bordeaux remained Bordeaux. In late antiquity, Paris was already known by the name of the native tribe, the Parisi, even though its original name was Lutetia. Major Roman cities in Spain still have recognizable names. Corduba became Cordoba, Cadiz became Cadiz, Valencia became Valencia, Amida Augusta became Merida, and Sevilla became Hispalis, thanks to the Arabic. Even less has changed in the names of the Roman cities of Italy. Up north, Verona is still Verona, Brixia is Brescia, and Mediolanum is Milano. Florentia became Firenze. Siena became Siena, and Pisa became Pisa in Tuscany. Beneventum is Beneventum. Tarentum is Taranto, and Brundisium is Brindisi, all located south of Rome. Only a small number of contemporary cities still use their historical names east of the Adriatic, as Slavic languages supplanted Latin in the early Middle Ages. Numerous of these, including Split, Roman Spalato, Zadar, Roman Ieder, and Pula, Roman Pola, are located along the Croatian coast. However, there are sporadic survivors inland. Skupi became Skopje in North Macedonia. Philippopolis became Plovdiv in Bulgaria, and Nisus became Niš in Serbia. In Greece, further south, Greek has been the primary language for 3 millennia, and despite variations in pronunciation, the names of the main cities have remained mostly the same. For instance, during the Byzantine era, the ancient name of Athens, Athene, changed to Athena, and has stayed that way ever since. Across the Aegean in modern-day Turkey, the names of some historic cities remain. Ankara is Ankara, Bursa is Prusa, Izmir is Smyrna, and Antalya is Atalaya. Other names are less clear. Izmit, for instance, was once Nicomedia. Lesbos, or Midili, was formerly known as Mosinopolis, Molivos during the Byzantine era, and Methymna. Compass was abbreviated to Kanakli and Claudiopolis to Boli. It appears that the Turkish name Istanbul is an adaptation of the Greek word Istenpolim, into the city. In Arabic-speaking regions of North Africa and the Levant, it might be challenging to identify the names of ancient Roman cities. For example, Timgad is Timgad, and Emesa is Homs in Arabic. The Roman city of Tingis gave rise to the Arabic Tanja on the opposite side of the Mediterranean, in what is now Morocco. Hippo Regius became Bone in Algeria. There are still several Roman cities that go by the names that the Middle Ages gave them. For instance, the Roman town of Verulamium in England was given the name St. Albans in honor of the Roman martyr buried there. Late in antiquity, Colonia Alia Traiana on the German boundary was dubbed after the local legion. Upon the construction of a church honoring a fallen Roman soldier, the saints gave the surrounding community the name Ad Aunum, which eventually transformed into Xanten. The name of the ancient city and the city of Aphrodisias is the source of the village's current name, Denizli, in Turkish. In the modern age, certain Roman city names were regained. For instance, Adria in Sicily was called Adria during the Middle Ages, until Mussolini decreed in 1927 that it be renamed Agrigento, which sounds more like an ancient place. Built on the ruins of Roman Napoca, Cluj, Romania, was once known as Cluj-Napoca to highlight its historical significance. This was changed in 1974. Hundreds of villages received classical titles from successive Greek governments during the 19th and early 20th centuries. For example, after a millennium, the city of Edessa changed back to its original name, Vodena. The nearby site of Dion inspired the renaming of the hamlet Kria. Certain cities that seem old are actually later constructions. Magna did not acquire its magna until the early modern era, while Bognor Regis did not acquire its regis until 1929. Numerous settlements bearing classical names were established on the Black Sea coast by the Russian Empire under Catherine the Great. These cities included Odessa, which was called after the neighboring Greco-Roman city of Odysseus, and Sebastopol from Sebastopolis, the city of Augustus. The names given to the ruins of abandoned Roman cities are among the most intriguing modern names. Alexandria Troas in Turkey was known as Eski Istanbul, ancient Istanbul, for ages. The Quintili Villa on the Via Appia became known as Roma Vecchia, or Old Rome. Some ruins were connected to mythical monarchs. The Turkish settlement next to Mius was called Palatia, after the palace Palatia. The village that developed around the enormous Villa Romana del Casale in Sicily was also known as Palatia. This name served as the foundation for Piazza Armerina, the current name of the nearby town. And Dionysopolis, hilltop city that is now in Serbia, earned the nickname the City of the Queen, or Syracuse town. However, Roman names have survived, if only in hundreds of other places, despite all the linguistic and geographical changes that a millennium and a half may bring